Hi everyone, welcome back in our English home learning today on Wednesday, 12 August 2020 with me, Miss Ruth. How are you? I hope you're very fine. Let's pray together that we can pass this condition so we can get back to school together as soon as possible. So today we are going to learn about grammar. One of the grammar that we are going to learn today is simple present tense. What is simple present tense? What is it used for? Let's go with the next slide. Grammar is really important in doing English assignment. In reading, writing, speaking, even listening, we need proper and correct understanding on the grammar used to get the context of the sentence we are talking about. Simple present tense, the tense we are discussing right now, has some features, and today we will learn deeper about its pattern, usage, and some examples. And the first one is its pattern. Simple present tense has three patterns. The affirmative sentence has subject plus verb 1 plus the object. The negative has subject plus do or does plus not plus verb 1 and also the object. And the last one is the question. It has do or does plus subject plus verb 1. When we're talking about grammar, we have some features to be careful with. An auxiliary, third singular person, and to be. For simple present tense, the auxiliary used is do or does. Who uses do or does? Pay attention to the third singular person appear. If the subject is I, you, we, and they, we will use do. If the subject is he, she, or it, we will use does. And for the to be noun, for I, we will use am. For you, we, and they, we will use are. And for he, she, and it, we will use is. The second part of simple present tense is its uses. The first one is present uses. In this condition, simple present tense is used to explain the situation which is always true. Permanent situation, sure actions now, and habits. While for the second use, which is future uses, it is used to explain about future timetables and future in-time clauses. The last use for simple present tense is conditional uses, and this tense is used in if conditional type 1. The simple present tense first use is the present uses. The first situation in present usage is when we use the present simple when something is generally or always true. For example, people need food. It snows in winter here, or 2 and 2 make 4. These three sentences, these three examples explain the condition which is always true, which is fact. That's why we use present simple tense here. The second situation in present uses is that we use this tense for the situation that we think is more or less permanent. For example, where do you live? She works in a bank. Or I don't like mushrooms. These three conditions explain us about the permanent condition. That's why we also use the present simple here. The next use is for habits or things that we do regularly. We often use adverbs of frequency such as often, always, and sometimes in this case, as well as expressions like every Sunday or twice a month. For example, do you play tennis? I play tennis every Tuesday, or I don't travel very often. Here, these three sentences explain us about habits that we do regularly. Although sometimes when we do not find the adverbs of frequency in the sentence, but as long as the sentence has habit context, has regular context, we may also use simple present in the sentence. The last situation in the present usage is that we can also use the present simple for short actions that are happening now. The actions are so short that they are finished almost as soon as you've said the sentence. This is often used with sports commentary. For example, he takes the ball, he runs down the wing, and he scores. This condition explains the short actions in a very limited time. Okay, and we can also use the present simple in this situation. Next, we are talking about the future uses of simple present tense. The first condition for the future uses. We use the present simple to talk about the future when we are discussing a timetable or a fixed plan. Usually, the timetable is fixed by an organization, not by us. For example, school begins at 9 tomorrow. What time does the film start? The plane doesn't arrive at 7, it arrives at 7:30. These three examples give us a fixed plan, gives us timetable, the future fixed timetable. That's why we also use the present simple in this case. Next, we also use the present simple to talk about the future after words like when, until, after, before, and as soon as. These are sometimes called as subordinate clauses of time. For example, I will call you when I have time, not will have time. I won't go out until it stops raining, and I'm going to make dinner after I watch the news. The word I have time until it stops raining and after I watch the news are called subordinate clauses of time. And we are using the present simple here to explain the time in the future context. Although the sentence has the future context, but we may use the present simple in the sentence as the subordinate clauses of time. The last use for simple present tense is conditional uses. Conditional uses. We use the present simple in the first and the zero conditional. Here, the example is, if it rains, we won't come. This sentence belongs to the first if conditional. Why? Because we have 90 to 100% chance for the action to happen. If plus verb 1, will plus verb 1. While in the zero conditional, we will have 100% chance for the action to come. For example, if you heat water to 100 degrees, it boils. If we heat the water to 100 degrees, absolutely, definitely, it will boil. That's why this second sentence belongs to the zero conditional because it has 100% true. Here we have if plus verb 1, comma, it plus verb 1. So that's why simple present tense is also used in the first and in the zero conditional tense. Now we will look at the examples on the simple present tense sentences. Okay, let's try to fill the blanks out. Number 1, she in bracket be blah 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 a teacher. Be here is talking about to be. So we have to match the to be with the subject. Since the subject is she, that's why the to be will be is. So the answer is she is a teacher. Number 2, I like swimming. Like is the verb, so we have to as well look at the subject used. It is I, so we just simply put like because after subject is verb 1, so the answer will be I like swimming. Number 3, this is the question form. Blah blah blah, it slash be forget today. Because this is question, remember to put the to be first in the beginning at the beginning of the sentence. So because the subject is it, so we need is as the to be. It will be is it forget today. And number 4, I play not the piano very often. This is negative sentence. Because not cannot stand alone, it has auxiliary to help it. That's why we have to put the auxiliary do or doesn't. Because the subject is I, we will put do. The sentence will be, I do not play the piano very often. Okay, so this is the last practice. Here we have short paragraph about Carol. Okay, hi, my name is Carol. This is my first year in university. I in bracket P from England. I in bracket have two sisters. I in bracket not have any brother. Carla, the oldest, in bracket work as a pharmacist. She in bracket have one daughter, Miriam. So let's try this together step by step. Number one, I in bracket B, blah 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 from England. B here talking about to be. Remember, B is to be. So because the subject is I, the to be will be am. Don't forget about it. Number two, I in bracket have blah 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 sisters. Still the same subject I. That's why we do not need to have we do not need to change the verb. That's why we still simply put have there. So I have two sisters. Number three, I not have blah 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 any brother. Okay, the same subject still, which is I, which is Carol. And here, because we have not, it means that this is negative. Don't forget, when we have negative sentence, we need auxiliary, do or does. Okay, because the subject I, we will put do not have there. Next, number four, Carla, the oldest, blah blah blah, work as a pharmacist. Carla, remember, will be the subject. Okay, Carla is she. That's why we should put as in the verb work into works as a pharmacist. Okay, the last one as well, because we have the subject she and the verb have. That's why we have to change the verb and adapt it into the simple present, and it will be she has one daughter, Miriam. So the last word is that the key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. Life is a process, yes. We cannot avoid the process, we cannot deny the process. It shows us that we are human and we are alive. In the process itself, we have to focus on our goals, not the obstacles. Yes, there will be a lot of obstacles, but don't forget we have God, we have Jesus who enables us, who helps us to tackle any problem that we have in our lives. Okay, that's the end of our explanation today. We do hope that you can have clearer understanding about simple present tense. Remember, when the obstacle appears in front of us, we have Jesus who will help us, okay, in tackling any problem. And if you feel like I have a lot of difficulties in understanding the material, you may drop your questions in your Schoology account to us, the teachers. So we also try to help you later on in explaining more in details. Okay, that's the end of the material. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your cooperation. You may go with the deeper practice after this. Stay safe, stay healthy wherever you are, and God bless you. Goodbye.